All right, we're gonna wait for the wait for 1,000 to get up here, and hoping my reception with you is good. I'm actually coming from New York's Penn Station, and waiting here to get my train, which I'm assuming I'll probably get in the next, I don't know, let me see, 7 minutes. So we'll go until I can't go anymore, but it should be about a good 7 to 8 minute chat. A couple things I want to say. I want to address this women's march that's taking place pretty much around the world today in, I don't know, what would you call it, protest to Donald J. Trump, president-elect. Look, there's a couple of things that are undeniable, and I believe that it's always better for us, conservatives and people who do seek the truth, to face things as they are. And so here's what it is. There is a very large resistance to Donald J. Trump. Why? Why is that? Well, unfortunately, you can never get a straight answer. If you looked at some of these videos that I have posted over the last 24 hours, or if you watched me yesterday live while I was interviewing protesters, you ask them questions and they never have an answer. I blatantly asked a man yesterday who was holding a sign saying that you were conned by Donald J. Trump. I asked him, what, a con is a lie. What's the problem? He says, well, he's a liar. Can you give me one example of when he lied? And I provided an example of when Obama lied. I talked about how it is that you could keep your doctor if you like your doctor, and then only to have to lose your doctor and your insurance at the same time. And later hear Obama say, yeah, I kind of knew it, but I said it anyway. I asked, what's the lie about Donald J. Trump? And he couldn't come up with one. And the guy then came out, oh, I have to leave. He left. I walked away, pretend like I walked away, and 2 seconds later, he was back in the same spot. And then if you heard, I went back to him when we had 2,000 more viewers. We were like almost 8,000. Asked him again. He couldn't come up with anything. When he asked his friend just called Donald J. Trump a buttocks hole. All right? All right. So you look at this woman thing, and they're all out there, and they're saying things which are completely untrue. Completely untrue. And I thought that what would be a great story, one that you can share with your friends and your family or the people who are against you in terms of your support of Donald Trump. Today I got into a cab going from, I stayed at the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C. And I got in a cab to head back to Union Station in Washington, D.C. And along the way, as you can imagine, we're mobbed. I mean, mobbed with the amount of people who are going to this women's march, which obviously just isn't all women, it's guys too. And the girl driving the cab, believe it or not, it was a girl. And the reason why I say that with surprise is because there aren't a whole lot of female cab drivers in Washington, D.C. or in New York City. But there is one common thread on most of the cab drivers who are in those both places, and that is many of them are new immigrants, people who have come over here in the last couple of years. And, oh, DML, how do you know that? You're a racist. Well, first of all, they speak very, very broken English. Secondly, is they have names which seem like as if they come over from the Middle East or in that region in general. And so I'm just sort of a smart guy. And I usually talk to the cab drivers. I say, hey, how you doing? Where are you from? And they'll give me the answer. Well, this woman, young black lady, turns out to be 30 years old. I say to her, hi, how are you doing? She says, good. I said, where are you from? And she says, I'm from Ethiopia. I said, ooh, Ethiopia. Wow, that's pretty cool. How long ago did you come here? And she said, 8 years ago. I said, well, 8 years ago. I said, that's about the same time that I got involved in immigration. I said, how did you come? Did you come on a student visa? Did you come on a work visa? Where'd you come on? She says, no, I won the lottery, the visa lottery. Now, I got to tell you something. I've been doing this thing for 8 years, 8 years. I have never in all my day met somebody who actually got here through the lottery. And yeah, in case you didn't know this, every single year, the United States of America takes a lottery, just like a lottery, like you would, like a lotto ball. And they put names in here and applicants, and they roll it, and they pick out names, thousands of names. And this girl was one of the people who won that lottery. So in addition just to be astonished by this woman's story, as she's driving us, I'm asking her to stop continuously because the aftermath of Trump's beautiful inauguration was yesterday. There was a biker's pickup truck with all the signs and stuff. So I'm taking camera stuff and I'm taking video because I'm going to be using some of this in our upcoming film, Fighting for Trump. And so anyhow, she comments on, she picks up on the fact that I'm a Trump guy. And she says, you voted for Donald Trump, huh? I said, I did more than vote for Donald Trump. I said, I've been fighting for this guy for quite some time. And I said, how do you feel about him? Now, let me tell you, I was completely expecting I can't stand him, but in a very polite way, because obviously she's looking for a tip right at the end of the ride. And she didn't answer me directly at first. She says, well, and as she's pausing, I said, look, you don't have to answer the question if you don't want. I said, I'm assuming you didn't vote for him. All these women are out here or whatever. I said, but, because you're an immigrant. I said, please listen to me. Please listen to me. I said, he does not hate immigrants, nor is he going to look to deport you, okay? They take this information and they distort it in such a way that is just simply ridiculous. And she says, no, sir, I want to stop you. She goes, I voted for Donald Trump. And I said, really? Why did you vote for Donald Trump? And she says, well, because see all these people here that are they're all in the streets and they're all out here protesting. She says, back in my country, if we did that, they would come in and they would shoot them all dead. All these people would be either dead or imprisoned. She says, and what we get very upset about is that America continues to send us financial aid, continues to send us aid. And the aid packages winds up going to our country, and then it winds up being spent in a way that's corrupt. And so I didn't want to see Hillary Clinton come in here into this office and send more money over to Ethiopia just so this way more young people could get killed. So I listened to everything that Donald Trump had to say, and I really believe that not only is he going to make America great again, but he's going to make the world great again. And that is the first time I've ever heard anybody say he's going to make the world great again. Because let me tell you, let's be honest, aside from America going down the tubes, the world is pretty much lost. It can't find its buttocks with both hands. It needs a strong leader. And the leader of the United States of America is the leader of the free world. And so I'm listening to this young girl, and I said, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? Aside from driving the cab. And she says, I want to really work hard and then one day be able to have 2 or 3 kids, sit back and relax and just enjoy my family. So, wow. Does that sound like what most of us want to do, And so anyhow, I'm looking at these people as they're just filling in, and I mean filling in. They're filling in droves into Washington, D.C., where we all were yesterday. And the fact of the matter is, you could look at the photos from 2009, and then you could look at the photos yesterday. And yes, Barack Hussein Obama did have more people at his inauguration than Trump did at his. Well, there's something that needs to be said about that. Actually, 2 things. And it will then dovetail into what it is I want to say about this woman's march today. First and foremost, you have to understand something. There's a thing called the Acela train. I just got off it. It runs from Boston down to Washington, D.C. Listen to what I just said. It runs from Boston down to Washington, D.C., which means it goes through every single last blue state you can possibly imagine, including the big ones of New York, all right, and Philadelphia, filled with blue. So it's not very hard for people in that corridor, the Amtrak Acela corridor, to get themselves, and very cheap to get themselves, for Barack Hussein Obama. A large portion of the people who voted for Donald J. Trump in very, very large numbers come from Middle America. Middle America, a lot of these people voted for Trump because they simply don't have a lot of money right now. They're hurting. And so the last thing they're going to be able to afford is plane tickets and $750 a night hotels in Washington, D.C., because that's what the Watergate cost, and that's what a lot of these different places cost. Track 16. I got my track 16. I'll hang out here with you for a couple more minutes. I got some more time before the train goes. So they just called the track. So anyhow, that's one thing that's got to be considered. And yet, only Fox News, from what I've seen, is reporting that sort of thing. That's one of the reasons why the numbers are so down. The second reason is because, and to a certain degree, you could say that we're at fault for this. Conservatives, Republicans, independents who are center right, we don't march and rally. We vote, we work, and we stick our nose to what we should stick our nose in, which is trying to keep our homes and our businesses and our jobs in order. I can't tell you how many times I get people telling me that they can't watch the Walk and Talk during the day because they have a job. They're too busy. They'll try to get it at nighttime. These people are going to these marches. they'll complain and they'll complain, they'll complain. They don't have jobs. Well, you know why you don't have a job? Look at the president you just had. Mr. Trump said it yesterday. We've been defending other countries' borders, but leaving our own. We've been worrying more about getting other people in other countries financially secure, and we're leaving our own behind. And yet these women are going to be marching, and the people supporting them are marching through the streets. And here's the ironic thing of it all. And excuse me for my language, but unless I say it, you won't get the meaning. By and large, most of the signs that I saw today, the stuff I'm seeing so far on my phone, is signs that say, pussies strike back. Meaning Donald Trump, pussies grab back. And I apologize. I apologize for using the words. But this is what the sign said. This is what people are using. They're even using it on TV. All right. And that is basically in response to that Billy Bush bus video with Donald Trump where he made the lewd remarks, which he fully apologized for. And I think was probably one of his shorter moments, if you will. But you know what? The first person, especially the people in these marches who haven't said something lewd, who haven't said something stupid, who haven't said something offensive or something that they regret in their life, please stand forward. And there will be not one of you. In fact, I bet you most of you have said, who are negative Trump, you've probably said 10 times worse of what that man was caught saying on the bus. And so now they're going to strike back. You know what amazes me? And I'm going to conclude on this, give you a little food for thought. What amazes me is that they're going to use that. They're going to use that as their calling card, so to say, about why their women are against Trump. Meanwhile, you look at Ivanka Trump, you look at Melania Trump, you even look at his past wives, you look at his other daughter, you look at the women that he surrounded himself, like Kellyanne Conway, you look at the people within his organization who will tell you that Donald J. Trump is one of, if not the greatest bosses they've ever had. They stand by this man. They throw themselves in front of the bus if they had to for this man because they know that he would do it for them. He's not anti-woman. He's not anti-anything. But no matter what he says nowadays, they're just going to try to make it as if it is. And here's where I was coming with my point. Let's not forget that Bill Clinton actually stuck a cigar in a young, vulnerable intern. He stuck a cigar in her private parts. He has multiple women who have accused him of rape. And yet, where were the march against Bill Clinton? Where were the marches against Hillary Clinton? Why was it so easy to forgive those things of Bill Clinton? But yet, because Donald J. Trump made one comment on a bus, that's going to end the world. That's why we have to have mass protests. That's why we have to come up with signs that are complete lies, that he hates immigrants. I'm going to start walking to the train. That he hates immigrants, that he hates blacks. Come on. So here's how, let's leave it at this. I was just on the train. Sitting behind me was actually Lou Dobbs. And he was talking to people. Track 16. Am I on the right track? I'm on the right track. All right. Go ahead, man. Let these people go. So anyway, it was Lou Dobbs. And he was having conversations with all the people, about Trump winning or whatever. And they were talking about this hold on one second. I'm going down these steps, trying to talk to you at the same time. They were asking Lou Dobbs when all this crap is bad, And Lou Dobbs didn't have a good answer. And I didn't say anything. I just keep to myself. I told you I keep to myself with this stuff. And I know Lou Dobbs. Guy, he's going to be the NFL. At the same time, Sorry, that was disconnected here.